She is desperate, trying to run back to her cash cow. Listen, man, you did what you did. OP, I'm glad. I'm glad you moved on and you divorced her. Subject: my wife cheated and got pregnant. Here's how I found out. Hey, true story epic. I never thought I'd be writing an email like this, but after everything that's happened, I feel like I need to get my story out. My name is Aaron, and up until recently, I was married to a woman named Vicky. We had been together for 6 years, and our marriage seemed solid, or at least I thought it was. We had decided early on that we didn't want kids. That was one of the things we bonded over before marriage, and we were always on the same page about it. But that's not the story I'm here to tell. This is about how I discovered my wife was cheating on me with not one, but two different guys, and how she ended up pregnant with a child that she was certain wasn't mine. The discovery. For the last couple of months before this all came out, our sex life had pretty much died. At first, I thought maybe she was just stressed. She had mentioned feeling a bit off, but nothing that seemed like a huge issue. Then she started being more secretive with her phone, turning it over when she got a message and taking it with her everywhere, even to the bathroom. One night, curiosity got the best of me. She had fallen asleep, and I managed to unlock her phone while she was still holding it. That's when I saw the notifications. Bumble, a dating app. My heart was pounding, but I kept my cool and went through the messages. That's when I found the conversations. She had been chatting with two guys, one named Ryan and another named Jake. The messages made me sick. Vicky's conversation with Ryan. Ryan, so when are we finally meeting up? I've been dying to see you in person. Vicky, soon, babe. I just need to find the right time. My husband's been a little more attentive lately, so I have to be careful. But I can't wait to finally get my hands on you. Ryan, you know I'll make it worth your while. You free this Friday? My place is always open. Vicky, Friday sounds perfect. I'll tell Aaron I'm meeting a friend for dinner. Ryan, sounds like a plan. Can't wait to have you screaming my name. Vicky's conversation with Jake. Jake, I don't know how you do it, but you make me crazy. Every time we talk, I just want you more. Vicky, you and me both. I can't believe I've been missing out on this for so long. My husband could never make me feel the way you do. Jake, so when am I seeing you again? Vicky, Sunday. He's going to be out for a few hours in the afternoon. Come over. Jake, I'll bring the wine and the condoms. Vicky, LOL, don't worry about those. I have my own. The confrontation. At this point, my hands were shaking. Not only was she cheating, but she was doing it so casually, like our marriage meant nothing. I took screenshots of everything and decided I would confront her the next day. When she came home from work, I sat her down and showed her the messages. Her face went pale. She tried denying it at first, saying they were just conversations, that nothing had actually happened yet. But when I pointed out the explicit details, she finally broke down and admitted everything. Then she dropped the bombshell. She was pregnant. I don't even know who the father is, she sobbed. But I know it's not yours, Aaron. We haven't had sex in 2 months. Hearing those words made something inside me snap. I told her to get out. But I'm pregnant, she protested. You can't just kick me out. I told her I absolutely could, and that I wouldn't be staying with a woman who not only betrayed me, but expected me to raise another man's child. She begged, pleaded, even cried on the floor, saying we could get past this, that we could raise the baby together and pretend it was ours. Absolutely not. I packed a bag for her and told her she had until the end of the night to figure out where to go. She left, looking terrified, but I didn't care. My marriage was over. The aftermath. Getting a lawyer. The next morning, I went straight to a divorce lawyer. I wasn't about to get stuck paying child support for a kid that wasn't mine. I sat down in his office, and after explaining everything, he asked for any proof I had. I handed over the screenshots of Vicky's messages, including the ones where she explicitly told both Ryan and Jake that I wasn't the father. The lawyer gave me a 6-step plan to make sure I got out of this as cleanly as possible. File for divorce immediately. The sooner I filed, the better. It would make it clear that I was leaving because of infidelity. Get a paternity test done, ASAP. Even though I knew the baby wasn't mine, having legal proof would be crucial to avoiding any child support claims. Freeze joint accounts to prevent her from trying to drain our savings out of spite. Gather all financial records. This would help ensure a fair division of assets. Change all passwords and secure personal belongings to stop her from accessing anything she had no right to. Cut off all contact except through the lawyers to avoid emotional manipulation or guilt tripping. I took his advice seriously. I filed for divorce that same day, and when Vicky got served, she flipped out. She called me crying, begging me to reconsider. She even tried guilt tripping me, saying I was abandoning her when she needed me the most. But I held my ground. I told her she had made her bed and now she had to lie in it. The final nail in the coffin. A couple of weeks later, she messaged me again, saying she had finally gotten a paternity test. The father was Ryan. I made a huge mistake, she wrote. I should have never done this to you. I don't even want to be with Ryan. He's not half the man you are. I didn't even respond. I just blocked her number and moved on with my life. Then I ran into her at my own family reunion. She felt like she was still invited even though we were no longer married. My family allowed her to stay. It was so uncomfortable. If I thought I had closed the door on Vicky, I was wrong. She found a way to wedge her foot back in, even if only for one awkward, painful evening. The family reunion dinner. Every year, my family hosts a reunion dinner. It's a big deal. Everyone comes together, and it's one of those rare times when you see all the aunts, uncles, cousins, and extended relatives in one place. Normally, I look forward to it, but this year was different. Everyone in my family knew about my divorce and the nightmare I had gone through with Vicky. I had told them everything, the cheating, the pregnancy, the drama. So I expected this dinner to be a place of comfort, a chance to enjoy good food and good company without the ghost of my past haunting me. But of course, Vicky had other plans. I had barely been there for 20 minutes when she walked in, her pregnant belly on full display. I froze. I hadn't seen her in person since the divorce proceedings started, and seeing her like that, still carrying the child that wasn't mine, made my blood boil. What made it worse was that my family let her in. I pulled my parents aside and asked them what the hell was going on. She showed up, my mom said. She looked so lost, Aaron. We couldn't just turn her away. Yes, you could have, I snapped. She's not my wife anymore. She's still family, my dad added. Like it or not, she was a part of our lives for 6 years. She's carrying a child. It would be cruel to send her away. I was furious, but I wasn't about to start a family war over this. I decided to keep my cool, but I made it clear that I wasn't okay with her being there. The rest of the night was about to be the most awkward dinner I had ever experienced. The prayer that made it worse. Before we ate, like always, someone was asked to say a prayer. Normally it was my grandmother or one of my aunts. But before anyone could speak up, Vicky volunteered. What happened next felt like an out-of-body experience. She started with the usual, "Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together." But then her voice cracked and she launched into a full-blown sob session. For 5 whole minutes, she cried through the prayer, talking about how she wanted God to bring her family back together, how she regretted her mistakes, and how her unborn child deserved a father. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I kept my head down, refusing to react. The rest of my family sat there awkwardly, unsure of what to do. Some of them looked sympathetic, Others looked just as uncomfortable as I felt. When she finally finished, there was dead silence. Then my uncle coughed and said, "All right, let's eat." The dinner itself was unbearable. Vicky kept trying to make small talk with me, acting as if nothing had happened, as if she hadn't destroyed our marriage. I barely ate anything. After an hour of forced politeness, I decided I had had enough. I told my parents I was leaving and walked out before anyone could stop me. The phone call. I had barely gotten 10 minutes down the road when my phone rang. It was my cousin, Mark. "Hey man, sorry about dinner," he said. "Listen, Vicky is really upset. She wanted to talk to you." Before I could say no, the phone clicked, and suddenly I heard her voice. "Aaron," she sobbed, "please just hear me out." I clenched my jaw. "How the hell did you get my number?" "Mark let me borrow his phone," she admitted, sniffling. "But I went through his contacts and found yours." That was it. That was my final straw. "You're insane," I snapped. "Do you not understand that we are done? You cheated on me. You got pregnant with another man's kid, and now you think I'm just going to take you back? Leave me the hell alone, Vicky. If you show up in my life again, I will get a restraining order." She gasped. "You wouldn't do that." "Try me." I hung up. Blocked Mark's number just in case she tried again. And then for the first time since this whole mess started, I felt free. My 7-step plan to move on and level up. That night, I sat down and made a plan. No more dwelling on the past. No more feeling sorry for myself. It was time to level up and move forward. Here's what I came up with. Cut all remaining ties. I blocked every number and social media account linked to Vicky. No more checking up on her. No more updates. Nothing. She doesn't exist to me anymore. Hit the gym harder than ever. I had already started working out, but now I was making it a priority. Nothing feels better than self-improvement, and getting in the best shape of my life was step one. Double down on my career. Instead of wasting time feeling sorry for myself, I put all my energy into my job. If I was going to move on, I wanted to do it with a bigger paycheck and more success under my belt. Upgrade my social life. I reconnected with old friends, started saying yes to invitations, and even joined some networking groups. New experiences, new people, new life, therapy, and self-reflection. I scheduled a few therapy sessions just to clear my mind. Talking things out with a professional helped me process everything without the emotional baggage weighing me down. Set new personal goals. I made a list of things I always wanted to do but never did because of my relationship. Traveling, learning a new skill, trying out new hobbies. I was going to do them all. Stay open to the future. I wasn't going to let one cheating ex define how I viewed relationships. I wasn't looking to date just yet, but I wasn't closing myself off either. When the time was right, I'd be ready. One last thing about Vicky that I discovered doing more snooping. I still have some of her belongings. When I was going through my old laptop last week, I found a backup folder I had completely forgotten about. Inside it, emails, love letters, and dating app messages Vicky had sent over the last 4 years. Not just with the 2 guys I caught her with before our divorce, but with multiple men, including ex-boyfriends and complete strangers. This means she wasn't just unfaithful at the end of our marriage. She had been cheating for years, living a double life behind my back. I want to share some of the messages with you so people can see just how deep this betrayal went. Emails to an ex-boyfriend, 2019 to 2021. Vicky to Jonathan, March 2019. Subject: I miss you. Hey John, I know I probably shouldn't be messaging you, but I can't help it. Every time I close my eyes, I think about us and what we had. Being with Aaron is fine, but it's not like what we had. There's no fire, no passion. I miss how you used to grab me and kiss me like you owned me. You made me feel wanted in a way he never has. I wish we had never broken up. Let's meet, just for coffee, just to talk. I promise I won't do anything crazy. Jonathan to Vicky, April 2019. Vicky, we both know coffee won't just be coffee. I can't lie, I miss you too. Seeing you married to another man has been weird for me. If you're serious about this, come over. No expectations, no pressure, but don't waste my time if you're just playing games. Vicky to Jonathan, April 2019, a week later. I was shaking the whole drive home. I shouldn't have come over, but I don't regret it. Being in your arms again, it felt like home. It felt right. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I don't want to stop. I'll text you when Aaron's at work. Bumble Conversations with Random Men, 2020 to 2022. Vicky with David, July 2020. David, you're seriously married? Vicky, yep, but it's not like that. We're more like roommates these days. I haven't felt like a wife in years. David, that's sad, but exciting for me. Vicky, ha ha ha, you're bad. What would you do if you had me for a night? David, I'd make you forget your husband even exists. Vicky, prove it. Vicky with Marcus, December 2021. Marcus, so what's your story? Unhappy wife looking for fun? Vicky, something like that. I just need an escape. Marcus, ever done this before? Vicky, a few times. Marcus, damn. So, I won't be your first, but I'll try to be your favorite. When are you free? Vicky, next Friday. Aaron has a work trip. Love letter to a man named Tyler, 2022. This one hit me the hardest because it wasn't just lust. It was love. Vicky to Tyler, handwritten letter, May 2022. Tyler, I don't even know where to begin. You make me feel alive in a way I never thought possible. Every moment with you is like a dream I don't want to wake up from. I wish I had met you before I met Aaron. My life would have been so different. I wouldn't be trapped in a passionless marriage, pretending to be happy when all I want is you. When you hold me, I feel safe. When you kiss me, I feel wanted. When we make love, I feel whole. I hate lying to him. I hate sneaking around, but I can't let you go. I won't. I love you. Vicky. The aftermath. Reading through these messages made me sick. 4 years. She had been lying to me, sneaking around, sharing her body and emotions with other men while coming home to me like nothing was wrong. It made me rethink everything. Every anniversary, every holiday, every I love you she ever said. It was all a lie. The worst part? I never had a clue. Looking back, there were signs, but I was too blind to see them. She was always working late or had girls' nights where she came home just a little too happy. There were random fights she started out of nowhere, probably to justify what she was doing. But I ignored it. I trusted her. And she took advantage of that trust in the worst way possible. Final thoughts. If there's one thing I learned from all this, it's that self-respect is everything. Vicky tried to manipulate me, to guilt trip me into taking her back, but I refused to let her drag me down. I have my whole life ahead of me, and I'm not about to waste it on someone who didn't respect me enough to stay loyal. To anyone out there dealing with betrayal, trust me, you can move on. You just have to decide that you're worth more than the person who hurt you. Thanks for letting me share my story. Hope it helps someone out there. Best, Aaron.
What a nasty woman. And you went back and found more. You found more information on her. She was cheating basically your entire marriage. Guys, is it worth it? Oh my gosh, guys, when you start to get those red flags, you start to get those gut feelings, trust yourself. Trust yourself. He probably could have saved himself a long time ago, But OP, I'm glad you're well now. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you realize, hey, I'm being cheated on. I'm being manipulated here. Got to get out of the situation. You got out of that situation. Salute to you, man. Guys, if you want to send in the story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That is truestorynation@gmail.com. I'm going to catch you guys at the next one.